Hey Hopewell, this is Pastor Brett, and I'm excited to share with you some testimonies from our recent trip to Thailand in January. A team of 5 of us were able to go to a place called Ban Nam Kem and minister to Burmese kids and Thai kids in Thailand, in southern Thailand, in the area that was devastated by a tsunami about 20 years ago. God really moved on this trip, and I'm excited for you to hear from the team.
All right, Randy, if you could describe the trip to Thailand in one word, what would it be?
Gratitude.
Encouraging.
My one word would be joyful.
Community.
What did you learn about the spiritual and physical needs of the people around the world?
I think physically they need materials. The teachers at the school need materials, computers, things like that. But spiritually, they just need encouragement, prayer, and love.
Well, honestly, I feel like that question is for not only for around the world, but also for America. For the people that don't know Jesus, of course, their spiritual need would be salvation. And for the people that do know Jesus, I feel like the spiritual need is just encouragement and just reminding them that no matter what, just to continue in the fight because it's worth it.
The physical needs that we learned about were the Burmese children living in Thailand having little to no access to public education. And so the people we got to work with were helping to provide that. The spiritual needs that we learned about, there's a people group that lives on an island off of southern Thailand called the Moken people, and they're unreached. And the people that we went to go see, they are working on meeting them and sharing the gospel with them.
So the village that we got to plug into while we were there, the leaders and teachers were doing a wonderful job of being spiritual leaders to the children that came through there. And as a whole, I feel like the village itself, the spiritual needs were being met and being built in a way that they could carry it out to the community around them and maybe surrounding islands. Physical needs, I feel like there, are some things such as supplies that may be needed. But as a whole, I feel like they were being met, and maybe not on a scale that you and I are accustomed to, but as a whole they were. I think obviously there's always needs that can be met for anyone, and it takes all of God's people to meet those needs.
And the last question, what was the most encouraging thing about the trip?
My favorite thing about the trip is we were in church during the church service, and the worship leader was singing a song and just worshiping, and it was in a different language, but it was a very well-known song. So we started singing in English, and just the combination of both languages worshiping, and then there were children playing in the background because there's no nursery. It was just an experience like, this is what heaven's going to be like.
Just learning that no matter where you are in life, that you can totally be content with the Lord. And so one of the biggest things for me was just recognizing that really we didn't need to give them anything. They had exactly what they needed. They don't know a different life, but they were still content with where they were and who they are. And so that's something that's just been encouraging for me, because I do have a little bit more, per se, because of where I live, but I'm just learning that whether you have much or little, you still can be content with the Lord. So, yeah.
The most encouraging thing about the trip was getting to meet local believers and missionaries who are there all the time, and see the work that they're doing to develop their community, and then meeting their needs and sharing the love of Jesus with them, and how they do that day in and day out.
So there was a missionary couple that we had the opportunity to meet, and they have gotten connected with it's actually an unreached group. It's called the Moken Tribe, and they were sharing with us that they are in the process of creating an audio version of the Bible in their language. And they also are going to start teaching these guys English. So just to know that whether it's, a missionary couple plugging in with an unreached group, which we actually got to get a small glimpse of this unreached group, which I thought was really cool. But whether it's that or whether it's someone like myself who's willing to go on a short-term mission trip and just, plant those seeds of love and encouragement, or just being here in America, I think it's just encouraging to know that God's not finished and that He's using every single one of His children to share the gospel and draw people to Him.